Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we will be finishing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean with the final 3 episodes. And just right off the bat, I was actually debating whether or not to do this today, but then I woke up late and I decided, okay, I'm going to do a movie instead. But the movie I had downloaded, it needs subtitles to be understood, and it didn't have the subtitles, and so it's like I can't react to it without that. And it's like, okay, at this point I don't have time to try and find a copy with subtitles and everything. I'm just going to worry about that some other time, and we're going to come back to this instead. We're going to do this instead. So yeah, I don't know what to expect going into this finale. But like I've said before, this is kind of like the proving point for me that's going to determine where it ranks amongst parts of JoJo. Because right now, it's kind of fighting with Vento Arreo. I do not think it's going to surpass Diamond is Unbreakable at all. That would be exceptionally difficult. Even with as good as this third batch of episodes has been, I just don't see this finale being good enough to surpass Diamond is Unbreakable for me. It's like that part was just like peak JoJo. And I could see it being number 2, though. Because there's a lot I love about this. And honestly, much more so than I dislike. My negatives about this really only center around that middle section, and not even the entire middle section, pretty much just everything from when FF gets their kill stolen by Anasui until FF's death. Pretty much everything in that little section there, it's just like I just don't like it. But mostly everything else in this part has been fantastic. Like, I like the characters very much so. I like the villain. I like the story, the pacing. It's like, none of that's really an issue for me. And even a lot of the stands are pretty darn good in this part. Especially for our main characters. Stone Free is pretty great. I love Kiss, obviously Foo Fighters, and so many others. So I'm really, really enjoying this. And at this point, I'm thinking that this will end extremely well. I'm thinking that these final episodes will go really well. As for what happens, I don't know. But we'll see. We are not going to watch the opening for the first of these 3 episodes, for episode 36. We're going to watch the opening on episode 38, because that's when the opening changes, from what I've been told. We're also just going to be watching straight off of Netflix this time, partially because I didn't have the episodes downloaded, but also because the episodes I've been downloading recently, if you've noticed, haven't really been fixing the subtitles in terms of the censored versions of names and stuff. I think it's like it's done it with character names, but not stand names. Like, it'll still say Stone Ocean for Jolene's stand instead of Stone Free, for example. But it's like I think it would say Anasui instead of Anastasia. But at this point, I can get through that. It'll be fine. We know what the names are. And by the way, Anastasia is one of the dumbest and most ridiculously stupid censorships for a name in this series. Not just part 6, but in general. It's just, it's dumb. It's bad. It does not work at all. But, I mean, I guess that makes it fitting for the character. Dumb, bad, and doesn't work at all. But yeah, I have no clue how this is going to end, because Poochie is achieving the third form of his stand now. And his stand has already evolved once. It's going to evolve again, and we don't know what that's going to mean. So he went from being able to remove discs from people and stands and whatnot to being able to have full control over gravity. What's next? Where do you go from there? I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to be concluded. I don't know how we are going to defeat Poochie here exactly. But yeah, I'm very much interested. So let's just get this going and hope for the best. And we'll talk about it as we react and more after. And I'll also reveal in the afterthoughts what will be replacing this. I've already made the decision. It won't surprise some of you, but some of you may be a little surprised. I don't know. We'll see. If that makes any sense. But for now, let's get this going. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode, or episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. What the fuck am I supposed to be feeling right now? What am I what is the emotion Araki wanted to elicit here? Because like I genuinely don't know how to feel about this ending. I was talking about it in the pre-thoughts how I needed to see how this ended to determine how where I would place this compared to other parts, but now I'm so actively confused by the intention with this. Because everything we know, everything we love, everything is just gone. From this point forward, every part of JoJo going forward is entirely disconnected from the first 6 parts. It all takes place in a new alternate universe. And pretty much nothing from parts 1 through 6 matter anymore going forward. You could basically say this is the end of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as we know it. This is the end of this story. It is without question the end of the Joestar saga. Because the Joestar bloodline is broken. It's gone. It's ended. Even before the universe reset, Jolene, Jotaro, they died. There was... What am I supposed to feel? Like, am I supposed to feel as confused as I am? Was that Araki's intention? Am I supposed to feel as upset as I do? And not upset as in like I hate this or anything necessarily. Upset as in like I feel sick to my stomach because I'm shaking. I don't know if it's visible like on camera because it is, but I'm very like no I can't even speak. My heart is like beating really fast right now. My again, I'm shaking. I am so like thrown off by this that it's not funny. And again, it's I'm not saying it's in a bad way. I'm not saying like I hate this ending or I am just so thrown off by it, so confused by it, so I don't know what I'm supposed to feel to such a degree that it's legitimately bothering me. Because even though Emporio was able to defeat Pucci in the end, like Pucci won. He won. He ended the Bloodstar Joe line. He killed Jolene and Jotaro and Hermes and Anasui, and he won. Everything was reset. Is Made in Heaven a more powerful stand than Gold Experience Requiem? I don't know. It might be. Gold Experience Requiem is probably the most powerful stand prior to this, but Made in Heaven might be even more powerful with the fact that it fucking resets the universe. Maybe part of the reason this is fucking me up so bad is that there's a really notable bit of existentialism involved in this, and I've talked before how that shit freaks me the hell out. But this is fucking me up something bad right now. I Like, it's not even the fact that characters I like die, because that's happened in other parts too. It's not the fact that the main JoJo died. That happened in part one. Like, that's not new to the series. It's the fact that everyone died. It's the fact that everything was reset. The fact that nothing from parts 1 through 6 matter anymore. Outside of the context of parts 1 through 6. Like, part 7 and on is completely reset everything. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? What is that going to... What is... How have I not heard about this? I mean, I've heard people, like, talk about future parts, to some degree. I don't know, like, a lot of details, but... Like, I'm so fucking... I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to try something real quick here to just snap myself out of this. Fucking ow, Jesus. Ow, holy shit. Like, I've slapped myself before to try and snap myself out of shit, but ow. Ow. I really hurt myself there. Like, oh my god. Ugh. Is there a red mark on my face? Maybe a little. Ow. It didn't help as much as I hoped. I'm not fucking kidding you here. I am not like I'm I am this thrown off by this. I am this like shaken by this ending. I have no idea what the fuck I don't know if do people like this ending? Like again, I'm not saying it was a bad ending. I'm not saying that at all. I just what do people think about this? Is this like is it popular? Is it not popular? Is there a divisive reaction to this ending? Because I'm pretty fucking divided. Because there's... I can see why Araki would want to restart the universe. It allows for a lot more freedom for the future parts of JoJo to just completely start over. To not be restricted by the previous parts. To not be restricted by the Joestar bloodline and everything that came before. But at the same time, it's like everything that came before is the connection to the bloodline is part of the appeal of this series. The ongoing story of the Joestar bloodline and its fights against basically against Dio. It all centers around fucking Dio. This basically means Dio won. Like what the fuck? I think the only part that had absolutely nothing to do with Dio is part 4. No, I can't even say that. The stand arrow, I can't even say that. The stand arrow was connected to Inaba and Dio in part 4, so I can't even say that. Dio had his hands in everything. Everything comes back to fucking Dio. Even though he died in part 3, he still affected everything, and it's like, he technically won in the end. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say here. Like... What good is talking about, like, just the general events of this final battle? What good does that do right now? It's like you guys saw it, presuming you watched the reaction, didn't just skip ahead to this. You guys saw the battle. It was mostly just a battle with our heroes being defensive against Pucci and Anasui coming up with a plan that didn't entirely work because the fucking Dio knife trick returned. Because it all goes back to Dio. And then everyone just is killed. And everything resets. And then eventually Pucci is killed by Emporio and Weather Report, or the Stand Weather Report. And and then the universe resets again, and and Emporio is like the only person left from the old universe, the original universe, or at least the original in terms of our knowledge. It's made clear that it is like an entire situation of the infinitely resetting universe and all that shit. So obviously not the original universe in that regard, but you know, the original in terms of our viewing experience. He's the only one who's left, and he just has to live with it. Like, he defeated Poochie, but is this a... Can you count this as a victory? Everyone we know and love, except for Emporio, is dead. And not just dead, erased from existence. And Emporio is the only one left, and he just has to deal with these alternate variations of his friends that aren't really his friends. They might become his friends in this world, but it's not the same, and it's always going to remind him of the real friends he had, of Jolene and Anasui and Weather Report and Hermes and Jotaro, presumably too, because Irene mentioned her father and everything. So it's like, I genuinely have no fucking idea what to think about this. I'm on the verge of having an existential breakdown. I, I guess the simplest way of putting it is I'm just not okay right now. I'm trying to calm myself down as best as I can. Like my heart was beating extremely fast, and it still is going pretty fast. Like, my breathing is labored. I'm losing my fucking mind. Oh my god. Have anything in here I can take a drink of? Jesus fuck. If this is entertaining to you, I'm happy for that at least. I if you could be entertained by my breakdown, it's like at least it's doing something. But Jesus. Again, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel here. Like, Araki had to know that this would be insanely mind breaking. And I know it's this. I know it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I know it's this series, and this series does shit like this, but this is a whole new level. Like, the shit they've done in previous parts has been wild, has been absolutely bizarre. Of course. But this... Like... how do you even begin to... How do you even... How can you understand? I can't understand. I have no fucking clue. My hair is being my hair right now. My face still hurts from when I slapped it. I really slapped it hard. Mind you, I was trying to, because I was trying to snap myself out of that shit, but... And it didn't work. Not entirely, at least. It distracted me for a temporary moment, but... I just can't wrap my head around. I can't wrap my head around the fact that nothing in parts 1 through 6 matters anymore to the rest of the series going forward. That none of this shit is going to affect anything else. The only thing we could possibly expect is maybe Emporio comes back at some point. Maybe these other alternate versions of our characters from Stone Ocean come back at some point. That is like the only thing we can hope for, because nothing that happened in parts 1 through 6 is going to influence the rest of this. There might be references to stuff because it's an alternate world, and it's like there'll be alternate versions of those things, I guess, that have happened, but it's like the actual events we saw didn't happen in this world. Like we already saw in the epilogue part how things are different just by the fact that it's called Orland instead of Orlando. It's like a single letter missing, but it's just a sign that things are different. Little changes. And this is kind of like what you see in like anything that goes through the multiverse theory. Whether it be comic books or Everything Everywhere All at Once or whatever else. A lot of times the universes won't have these major changes. It'll just be little things that are just uncannily different, little things that are just off. There are universes that are very different, of course, but some of them will just be just a little thing, just little things that are just slightly different, and it's like, is that what it's kind of going for here? Is that what this is going to be now? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know what to think. I have nothing wrong with a series or something or a movie or games or whatnot that tackle multiverse and tackle switching into a different universe and stuff. But it's like, it was just so unexpected here. It just, it caught me so off guard. Like when I figured out what was going on before it was actually said, and it's like, I'm just mind fucked right now. I hope though that no matter what, when David Production does the next part, does part 7, which again I believe is Steel Ball Run, I hope to God it's not done through Netflix, because this was an absolute shit show in terms of how Netflix handled this, in terms of not only the release schedule but also the lack of proper advertising for it, which is a common thing with all of their animated stuff. But still, and a lot of their live action stuff, actually, they have shit advertising, let's be honest. Unless it's a major series like Stranger Things, they don't advertise well at all. But yeah, it's I genuinely I don't know. I don't know. I do not know what to think about this. I do not know what I have no fucking clue. I have no idea how this affects the rest of this series and season, and where it causes Stone Ocean to rank amongst the other 5 parts we've had so far. I don't know. I genuinely cannot say. Like, I can't even, like, just try to say, like, oh, how do you think about it on an entertainment perspective? I don't fucking know right now. Maybe I'll know later. But right now, as of this moment that I'm recording, I genuinely don't even know if I was entertained by that. Because I don't know at all. Like, there's 0% confidence in how I feel right now. I am so thrown off, I am so flabbergasted that I just genuinely do not know what I think of this at all. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I don't know Araki's intention at all with this. Like, what am I supposed to think about this? Because maybe I'm supposed to be this fucking confused. Maybe that was Araki's point. Maybe he wanted the audience to be so thrown off by this that it just destroyed their minds and made them question reality and gave them an existential crisis. Maybe that was the intent. I don't fucking know. All I know is I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm glad I didn't really plan on reacting to anything else today. Because I'm not okay. And I'm just running around in circles now too. I'm just repeating myself. I'm not really saying anything either. I'm just having a breakdown. Again, I don't know if that's entertaining for you guys. If it is, cool. At least you're entertained. So I guess I'll just announce what's replacing this. I guess I don't really have anything else to say. Like I said in the pre-thoughts, some of you might have seen this coming. Some of you might have not. It just depends on how quick you thought I would get to this. JoJo was a My Choice series. It's something that I chose to do. It wasn't anything special, but because of what we currently have had on our schedule, we have not had a we don't currently have a continuation, a First Impressions continuation. Because we just recently finished Masters of the Universe, which is being replaced by Trece as our poll show. We have One Piece, which is just our recurring show, because One Piece. We have 2 donation rewards, Fire Force and Bocchi the Rock. And then we have Ruby, which is another My Choice series. So I feel like we should, instead of replacing this with another My Choice, we should replace JoJo with a first impression continuation. And it might be a mistake to go to after this, based on that first episode, which put me into an entirely different kind of crisis, but more emotional of one rather than more, existential. But I've been wanting to get back to it since I did the first episode, First Impressions. It's been, like, on my mind constantly. Like, legitimately, I think about it literally every day. I probably watch the opening every day. That's how much it's on my mind since I watched the First Impressions, which, let me actually see how long ago that was. Just for context here. And I misspelled that. God damn it. Okay, so I did the First Impression back in the middle of January. So it's been about a month and 10 days. So not as long as you would think, but for a month and 10 days to be thinking about this every day, pretty much, like, to have it on my mind that consistently says something about how much that first episode impacted me. And if you haven't gotten it by now, it's link click. We are going to be replacing JoJo with link click, effective immediately. The change will be made on the channel banner and everything. This is something, again, I've been watching the opening pretty much every day. I've been thinking about the series pretty much every day. I want to get back to this so fucking bad. Even though the first episode put me in a little bit of an emotional state, because holy fuck, I felt bad for that girl. I am very invested in wanting to see more. Also, I think it's one of the very few Chinese series I've ever seen. In fact, it might be the only Chinese series. Because The Legend of Hay, I think, was a movie. And I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, though you guys might be able to help me remember. But yeah, that's going to be coming back right away. I am very excited for it. And don't worry, other stuff is still in the future and everything. It's just, this is what I want to get to right now. It's what I'm personally wanting to get back to first. There's still other stuff on the schedule. It's just, again, we have 6 slots per week. We have 6 slots in our schedule, right? It's not per week, but you know what I mean. We have 6 slots, and there's so many fucking shows I want to get to or get back to or whatnot. I can't do everything at once. There's going to be some things I'm going to have to push back and some things I'm going to have to push forward. It's just, a lot of it's going to come down to, what am I feeling on getting to at the moment? Which is why I had to make room for Ruby and everything, because I wanted to get to Ruby. Like, I did not want to wait for that. And I don't want to wait anymore for Link Click. So, I'm sorry if you were hoping for something else. But yeah, it's like, this is what I'm getting to for the time being. Everything else that's still on the list will still be gotten to in the future. So don't worry about that. I'll try to get to things as quickly as I can, but, who knows how that's going to go. Again, too few slots, too many shows I want to get to. It's difficult, my dudes. I've calmed down at least a little bit now, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you even have thoughts, please let me know if you even have thoughts. And if you have thoughts, please tell me what they are. Because I want to know. Because I need maybe some help with this. I need you to help me like figure out what I think about this series, about this ending, about this series. I can say that. Let me know your thoughts below. I'm Connie. I'm signing off. I'm having an existential crisis. See y'all next time. Wee.